So, coaching children and youth, supporting them in coming to some understanding about behaviours and thinking and the way they feel they are, usually results in them finding a different way to see this world, a different way of being, and it brings great hope. I know when I've shared this understanding quite recently with a 10-year-old young man, and he was brought to me because he was very aggressive and he's lived on his own with his dad. His mum was an alcoholic. They didn't have a lot of money, so there wasn't a great deal going on at home. The family didn't have any holidays, and there was a little sister who seemed to the young boy to obtain a lot of the dad's attention. And so there was a change in this young man's behaviour, and he began to present in an aggressive, loud, shouting manner, which was totally the opposite to how he normally was. And when he came, he was really angry. He kicked the chair and got told off by his dad. And his dad left him with me. His dad went into another room. And I sat with this young man who just gave a complete outpouring of all the thinking in his head. How angry he was about home. He didn't have this, he didn't have that, he didn't have the other. They never went on holidays. Little sister bugged him to pieces. His tablet had broken and there was no money to mend it, and the list was endless. And the tears poured down his face. And I sat listening to him because of all that content, all that thinking. I know that that's made up. I know with this understanding that the real person, the true nature of that person, is not that thinking in the moment. Is not that worry or anxiety or anger or addiction or despair or depression. And that the things causing that thinking are not the sister or the dad or the lack of tablets, as in iPad, or the lack of holidays. Because that thinking comes from the inside, it comes from in here. And so as I sat and listened to the outpouring, and I don't take any notice of the thinking content, but I get really present. I do deep listening, soul to soul. And there's something about a feeling that occurs when you have that deep connection. It enables both the listener and the talker, in this case the ranter, to slow down in that moment. To slow down enough to have access to that inner wisdom. And to touch our true nature without that personal thinking and the content of our story. And so this young man slowed down and he stopped crying. I asked him if he'd like to play a game. It just occurred to me. And he said, I love playing games. I get lost when I'm playing games. I don't think about anything. I just love playing games. And that was his way of connecting with his true self. The story slid away. That glimpse of that break in that train of thought, long enough for fresh thinking to come in. A fresh thinking bringing that enjoyment of a simple board game. Sometimes a simple story. The 3 principles: understanding, in action in a 10-year-old, in action in a coach, as we both touched our own wisdom. You'd be pleased to know that young guy is now a champion for other children who get upset. As he does deep listening, because he knows what that's like. He knows how that touches another soul. And as a result, I've been invited into his school. How amazing is that? Sharing this understanding with children, youth, and consequently families. It doesn't get any better. It doesn't get any better.